In the sweltering jungles of Papua New Guinea, on a fateful day in April 1943, a lone American pilot, Lieutenant Rex Barber, flying his trusty P-38 Lightning, call sign a Yellow 33, would etch his name in the annals of history. Barber's bravery and cunning that day would not only change the course of the war in the Pacific but also earn him a reputation as one of the most feared pilots among Japanese forces. The P-38, with its distinctive twin-boom design and powerful Allison WWII 1710 engines, was already a formidable opponent, but it was the men who flew them, like Barber, who turned the tide of battles. As Barber soared through the skies in his P-38, with its 6.50 caliber M2 machine guns and 120mm Hispano autocannon, he was part of the 80th Fighter Squadron, 8th Fighter Group, operating out of the Milne Bay Airfield. Their mission was to provide cover for a convoy heading to the town of Leh, a strategic location that controlled access to the Huon Peninsula. The Japanese, aware of the convoy's importance, had planned a massive air raid to destroy it, involving over 100 aircraft, including the feared Mitsubishi A6M0 fighter. On the morning of April 18, 1943, as the sun rose over the horizon, casting a golden glow over the vast expanse of the Pacific, Barber and his squadron were scrambled to intercept the incoming Japanese forces. The air was electric with tension as the American pilots climbed to their intercept altitude, their radios crackling with the voices of their comrades, the distant hum of enemy aircraft growing louder by the second. The battle that ensued was a chaotic dance of death, with planes twisting and turning in every direction. Barber, with his exceptional piloting skills and the superior firepower of his P-38, managed to down several enemy aircraft, including a Betty bomber, which was notorious for its ability to outrun most Allied fighters. However, his most significant contribution to the war effort that day was yet to come. As the dogfight raged on, Barber spotted a Japanese bomber, escorted by several Zeros, heading towards the convoy. Without hesitation, he dove his P-38 towards the bomber, determined to stop it. The Japanese pilots, confident in their numerical superiority and the speed of their Zeros, closed in for the kill. But Barber was no ordinary pilot. He had a deep understanding of his aircraft's capabilities and the tactics of his enemies. In a daring move, Barber used the cloud cover to his advantage, employing a tactic known as a deflection shooting, where he aimed not directly at the bomber but at the point where it would be in the future, taking into account its speed and direction. This sophisticated technique, made possible by the P-38's advanced firepower and Barber's skill, allowed him to hit the bomber with precision, sending it crashing into the sea. The destruction of that bomber was a turning point in the battle. The Japanese, having lost their key asset and faced with the unexpected ferocity and cunning of the American pilots, began to falter. The convoy, now protected, was able to reach its destination safely, providing crucial supplies and reinforcements to the Allied forces in the Pacific. Barber's actions that day did not go unnoticed. He was awarded the Medal of Honor for his heroism and his ability to outmaneuver and defeat a superior enemy force. The P-38 Lightning, already respected for its capabilities, became even more feared among Japanese pilots, who began to realize that the Americans had aircraft and pilots that could counter their own technological and numerical advantages. The story of Lieutenant Rex Barber and his P-38 Lightning serves as a testament to the bravery and ingenuity of the Allied forces during World War II. It shows how individual actions, fueled by courage and determination, can change the course of history. In the Pacific, where the war was as much about control of the skies as it was about territorial gains, the exploits of pilots like Barber were pivotal, inspiring their comrades and striking fear into the hearts of their enemies. As the war progressed, stories like Barber's became the stuff of legend, motivating other pilots to push the boundaries of what was thought possible. The P-38 Lightning, with its versatility and firepower, remained a mainstay of the Allied air campaign, participating in battles from North Africa to the Philippines, its pilots always seeking to outdo each other in their pursuit of victory. In the end, it was not just the machines or the strategies that won the war, but the men who flew them, who maintained them, and who fought with unwavering dedication to their cause. Lieutenant Rex Barber and his P-38 Lightning are just one of the many stories that highlight the heroism and the unexpected turns of fate that defined World War II, a conflict that will forever be remembered for its complexity, its brutality, and its ultimate triumph of good over evil. The aftermath of the battle saw Barber's squadron returning to their base, exhausted but exhilarated by their victory. As they landed and taxied to their parking spots, the tension and adrenaline that had fueled their actions during the battle began to wear off, replaced by a deep sense of satisfaction and camaraderie. The pilots gathered around Barber, congratulating him on his exceptional flying and his decisive role in the battle. Their squadron leader, a grizzled veteran of many air battles, patted Barber on the back and said, "You've done it again, Rex. You've proven why you're one of the best." The praise from his comrades meant a lot to Barber, but he knew that the war was far from over. He spent the rest of the day attending briefings and analyzing the performance of his P-38, looking for ways to improve its already impressive capabilities. As the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the airfield, Barber couldn't shake off the feeling that the Japanese would be back, and next time, they would be even more determined to destroy the Allied forces. The following morning, Barber was summoned to the office of the base commander, a stern-looking man with a no-nonsense attitude. The commander looked at Barber and said, "Lieutenant, your actions yesterday were exemplary, but we have reason to believe that the Japanese are planning an even larger attack on our convoy. We need you to lead a reconnaissance mission to gather intelligence on the enemy's plans." Barber nodded, knowing that this would be a perilous task, but one that could give the Allies a crucial edge in the war. He spent the next few hours studying maps and briefing his team, a small group of trusted pilots who would accompany him on the mission. As they took off into the dawn sky, Barber felt a sense of trepidation mixed with excitement. They flew low, hugging the coastline, trying to avoid detection by the enemy. The sea below them was calm, with only a few waves breaking against the shore. Suddenly, Barber's wingman, a young pilot named Lieutenant Wilson, spotted a group of Japanese aircraft taking off from an airfield in the distance. Barber quickly assessed the situation, realizing that they had stumbled upon a major enemy base. Without hesitation, he led his team in a daring low-level pass over the airfield, gathering vital information on the enemy's aircraft and defenses. The Japanese pilots, caught off guard, scrambled to respond, but Barber's team was too fast, too low, and too well trained. They completed their mission and returned to their base, providing the Allies with crucial intelligence that would help them prepare for the next battle. As they landed, Barber couldn't help but feel a sense of pride and satisfaction. He knew that the war was far from over, but he also knew that he and his team had made a difference. The battle for the Pacific was intense, with both sides suffering heavy losses, but Barber's actions had given the Allies a glimmer of hope, a chance to turn the tide of the war in their favor. The days that followed were a blur of activity, with Barber and his team flying mission after mission, always pushing the boundaries of what was possible. They faced countless challenges, from treacherous weather to fierce enemy resistance, but they persevered, driven by their determination to win the war. And then, one day, Barber received a message from the base commander, informing him that he had been selected for a special mission, one that could change the course of the war forever. Barber's heart racing with anticipation, he reported to the commander's office, eager to learn more about the mission that lay ahead. The commander looked at him, his expression serious, and said, "Lieutenant, we have received intelligence that a high-ranking Japanese officer will be attending a meeting on a remote island in the Pacific. We need you to lead a team to intercept and capture this officer, or if that's not possible, to neutralize him." Barber nodded, knowing that this would be a high-risk mission, but one that could provide the Allies with a vital strategic advantage. He spent the next few hours studying the mission plans, assembling his team, and preparing for the challenge that lay ahead. As they took off into the night sky, Barber felt a sense of focus, a sense of purpose. He knew that the mission would be difficult, but he also knew that he and his team were up to the task. They flew through the darkness, their aircraft silent and deadly, their hearts pounding with anticipation. The island loomed ahead, a dark shape in the distance. Barber's team descended, their engines roaring, their guns at the ready. The battle was about to begin, and Barber was ready to face whatever lay ahead.